Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all doing? We are back one more time to finish off this night health run. There's not a lot left to do. Tonight we're looking at a load more Verdigris, getting some mosses, some rival crafts tufts going on, and then finally some leaf scatter on the base as well. If we get this guy finished in time, we'll even have a go at a couple of other bases, which are somehow covered in dandelion seeds. These are the prototype for the Necron army that we're going to be painting. The Necronathon. You guys might have seen this over on Instagram. Oh, damn, I thought I did it in the right place as well. There we go. 110 minis. 2,500 points in 48 hours. It's actually 2,505, but I'm sure I can drop something somewhere that's war gear to make it that. 3 reanimators, 2 lords, 18 scarabs, 3 plasma sites, 60 warriors, an overlord, 9 scorpion destroyers, 6 cryptothors, 2 plasmancers, a royal warden, 5 immortals, and a cryptech. Sponsored by the Alliance Open and Rival Crafts. This is coming next weekend. Not this weekend. We're at a tournament. This is the 29th and the 30th of August, and we have so many prizes. There are 15 prizes up for grabs that weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend. I thought it was going to be a lot more fun until I realized that I've got 21 minutes and 49 seconds to paint each mini. On average. Maladeus getting his sub going on. The jam is on. Let's slam his awesome community with that awesome positivity, Jay. Well, thank you very much, my friend. Much appreciated. So that's what we've got next weekend. The entire Necron army, the Necronathon, is happening. In the chat tonight so far, we got Des, Viking, Abundance of Storms, December Wind, the Crooked Grin, who is back once again with the ill behaviour, S. Farrell, Fish. I do wonder if that first challenge damaged your brain, because only a nutter would attempt this. My brain has been damaged for a great many years, I'll have you know. This is just a side effect of that madness. Got army painting psychosis, clearly. Sad it's not this weekend. I'm at a tournament this weekend. That's why. Optimus Primer and Sons of Rolo. How you doing, man? So when I read the 21 minutes thing, I was like, yeah. But think about it. We did 118 minis in 35 hours for those Necrons. So that can't be too far off. But there was a lot less going on those guys, which was yeah. Let's have a look. 118 divided by... Well, actually, let's do it another way. Let's do 35 times 60 is 2,100 minutes. Divided by 118 minis, that's 17.79. If we minus 17 from that and then times that by 60. So that was 17 minutes and 47 seconds. So yeah. We've got 3 entire minutes a model more as long as we stream for 40 hours. If we stream for less than that, we've got less time. So that's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. It's going to be a fun stream. There's going to be, obviously, every minute of footage over on YouTube. Exclamation point YouTube. You better watch all of it back at another time. I've even hired an editor to take the weekend's worth of footage plus a few little vlog things that I'll film, maybe do some voiceovers and stuff like that as well, and condense it down into like a 15 to 20 minute video so that if you don't want to watch possibly 40 hours of film, and I wouldn't blame you, then you've got a nice easy recap of the weekend. How's that? Carradson, what up, dude? Have you allowed the time out to do all the prize draws? There's got to be another hour lost. Oh, that is an hour lost. Definitely. Eating over the 2 days is an hour, maybe even per day. So we're from 40 hours down to 37. The whip, if it gets done, will be rapid fire. Like, oh look, a Space Marine. Oh look, not a Space Marine. Oh look, a Space Marine. Oh look, not a Space Marine. That's what it'll be. That's why I'm rewarding myself currently with painting something I do genuinely want to paint. If we zoom right in, not the gun barrel, that's looking pretty spiffy though. But here, this pillar, we were working up our Verdigris. We've got the base coat of all of it done. Got some highlights on there. Just got a few more highlights to do, and then we can call that part done. We can move over to this weird, like golden halo thing that we've got going on. And once all the Verdigris is done, we've got some highlights on the gold to do. We've got some highlights on this barbed wire to do to really pick that out, bring that up to a nice bright shine for some of those peaks. And then we're talking all about that base. We've got a load of stuff to do on the statue. The base itself is going to be rad. But for now, let's disassemble Johnny 5. Pop all those bits down. And like I said, let's do the highlight passes on this. Now, all we're doing, this is why nobody should ever use the Games Workshop, what's it called? The Nylac Oxide. No one should ever use that. Because you don't get the same control, and you don't get any kind of level of highlight that we're going to get out of this. The highlight we're using is a mixture of Cyberite Green, which is all we've used for our initial pass. Just mixed in with some Sickly Skin from P3. Now you can use any kind of off-white flesh color, so if you're tied to them GW paints, if we can't break that habit out of you, then, you know, maybe you could use like Rakarth flesh, I think is their similar one. Hire someone to feed you while you paint. I mean, I'm not adverse to that idea. Can she be like a dusky maiden feeding me drakes or something? Less painting would be done if we did that, I feel. The novelty of just having somebody feed me would take over the stream. So, Powdered Witch Flesh, there we go. If I played you, I'd never win, I'd be just distracted looking at the model, so nice. How do you think I win my games, man? We distract our opponents with minis, and then occasionally things like beer. So what we're doing is just getting a few little dots of this into some of the areas we've applied our base coat. And whilst it's very bright now, it will of course just matte down a little bit and dry up, looking a little bit less vibrant, and that's totally fine. But it adds so much, and that Nylac Oxide shit, it's going to do you no favours. So to the Games Workshop staff members that we have in the chat, and I know there's at least one, stop selling that crap, man. Sell people 2 paints instead. Yeah, big brain moment right there. You can be as free with this as you want. You don't have to really follow any set patterns for it. After all, this is the kind of verdigris that's been left by chemical rains, that sort of thing. There we go. So that's our highlights done on that. Now we can start working on this bit. It's not a good paint. It's not a good paint. It's got a really, really weird consistency. We were explaining on the last stream how I find it to be very gritty pigment, very grainy, suspended in a solution that's way too thin, and so you get massive separation. Slightly sandy, yeah. Speaking of chemical rain, I had Bargies today. Nice, nice. This is of course the planet Bindi Badgie, well known to anyone that was enjoying BBC's finest sci-fi television during the 90s. So on here, we're going to get that Cyberite Green laid down. We're going to concentrate on all of these little rivets. Got to get them nuts washed. And we're working real thin. I mean, you can see we've got kind of a glaze going on here. A little bit thicker than that, but Rocky, we take our time on our own minis. That's why we never paint them. That's why we never finished them. There's a Town Commander half finished. There's a Grey Knight Librarian half finished. Although that Grey Knight Librarian is looking sick AF. That's going to be another weird and interesting weekend stream, is doing the Grey Knights. Jen Nelson! That is 15 months. Did you break your streak? I think you did. I don't know. You might not have. Base looks sick. Thank you very much. It adds so much character to these knights. You know, without this, you don't have a sense of scale, which is really, really sad. Because they're enormous walking death machines. Not I know of. Okay, cool. Normally it says, and is on a X month streak, but that's cool. Maybe it's just the bot has stopped giving out so much of an announcement. 15 months, guys. Let's get some hype in the stream for one of my very, very first subscribers, Janelle said, and Fletcherton getting his sub on as well. All the cool kids tonight, clearly. So you see we're working in all the areas where we get like a natural collection of water, scum, whatever it might be. You and Rocky, yeah, it was. Rocky, peace out, brother. Gonna be ordering that Magnus tomorrow. We're gonna be working on that pretty soon. Rocky has taken me on as an artist, and he is my next commission after I finish these Aeronautica planes that I've got in front. I've got 6 of the little ones, and then 6 more in the cabinet, the larger variety. And they're mostly done. We're getting through to the sort of nitty-gritty details now. We've got the canopies, which we just started off. Get some base coats down on those. And if we do stream Sunday, and that's the point, we might not be streaming Sunday. The goal and the plan is still to stream Sunday, but I've been told that the tournament I'm going to may not finish till 7 o'clock, and it's about 2.5 to 3 hour drive away, so there's very little chance of me getting back here for 9. But if I do, if things finish early, if things wrap up, and I can't see myself as being in the running for any of the prizes, then I will bow out and get home early so we can stream. So don't count on it. There may be a stream, there may not be a stream. But if there is a stream on Sunday, we're painting these planes. I'll see one. Here's where we're at. Done all the white highlights on these guys. Got base coats on everything else. They're cool. They're hard AF to paint. Everything is like painting an eyeball. Details crazy small. Drive faster. Not without getting tickets and stuff like that, man. That's I love you guys, but not at the point of possibly like fucking my driver's license. There you go, see that Verdigris coming in there strong. Nice bright oxidized green. Yeah. Now you can't tell me that Nylock oxide looks better than that. You just can't. That's not a thing. That's fake news. Cool, that's done. Now let's get some gold highlights going on. Now, you guys know me, I love this scale Dwarven gold. Absolutely one of, if not the best, gold in the business. What are these new emotes that Twitch has done as well? I didn't quite understand the 2 we had earlier on. Now it just says parkour on it. Like, what's the deal with this? Also, what have you guys been up to? What hobby have you been doing? What I've been working. I've had a lot of work today as well. Didn't actually finish work until 6:30. I didn't take a lunch break. It's been a bit of a struggle today. We've had some challenges, some things that have popped up. One of those days, right? Can't do anything about it. Some event or something, I don't know. Hex go burr. Pass. Go to college for dude! Congratulations, that's awesome! What is it you'll be doing, man? So it's the same colour we used as the base coat, by the way. And the reason we used this as a highlight is because we did a very aggressive set of washes. You can see just how much that's been changed. Computer science, nice, mate, very nice. Up in 99 on the M11 a few years back. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I've never been caught speeding, therefore I haven't sped, ever. I do know what it feels like to come down from 140 miles an hour to 70 because a car in front of you that could be an indeterminate distance away has suddenly put its brakes on there. I miss my A6. That was a really good car. That was such a good car. Buying play guard minis I don't need but love the look of. You need them. If you don't have them, you need them. That's how Warhams works, right? Trying to convince my housemate to buy more Death Guard minis so that he can run a 20 Death Guard up the table, screaming at you, ready for that blight bombardment. He's not doing it, Fish. He's not buying a Spartan either, so you better buy a Spartan. Like, no excuses now, man. You can't let me down. Somebody's got to buy a Spartan. On the Autobahn. Yeah, that'll be fun. Socially distanced curry for Mum's birthday today. Oh, nice, dude. I defo didn't just buy another Death Guard army. Well done, Abaddon's Lost Arms. Well done. Typhon is cool, and yes, Des, I've never had that feeling, but like I said, had similar. It's squeaky everything time at that point. So just hitting all of these. Little raised areas, the rivets or whatever they're called, just to give them a little bit of je ne sais quoi. Give them a little bit of pop. Helps bring out the differences between the foreground and the background as well. Makes that verdigris just contrast a little bit more in places too, which is always good. We love getting that high contrast look. And there's a lot of them. Which is why anyone that's ever fully painted, like really painted, not slapped some colours on painted, but fully painted one of these Warhammer Games Workshop 40k terrain sets, they get my respect. Like to do all the details on that shit. That takes a while. I've got one that I did actually just next to me. Because it doesn't fit in the cabinet now, I've put the new shelves in. And my local, a couple of years back, hosted a painting contest, and I said, is there any rules on what we can enter? And he went, no, but like, can you make sure you give other people a chance to enter without, you know. I said, yeah, sure. I'll tell everyone I'm just going to paint some scenery and I'll put that in. And the owner went, just scenery? Like, yeah, I just paint some scenery. I'll enter scenery. And he figured that would be okay. You know, no one could possibly, like, hang on, like, I'm entering my Bloodthirster. I'm entering my Manius Calgar. Here's my converted whatever that I've spent 3 years painting. No one could possibly say, oh, you know, fucking scenery, right? You want to see it? Should have worn his brown pants, yeah. Painted scenery. Painted a lot of rust. So much shitty rust. So much verdigris. All the highlights on all of this stuff. Yeah, nice little bit of base. All the weathering on the inside. I think that black marble is the best marble I've ever done. The white marble's there, it's just super difficult to see on camera. Oh, there you go. There you go. Just a forgotten shrine or something, I guess. Like a forgotten bit of a ruined building. And then we just chuck this dude on for the sake of it. This is the most extravagant scenic base I've ever done. Like oil streaking. Various rusts, burn marks. All of that. And the worst thing, you can't really see it. But just there, painted on his chest, is a skull. He's like basically a futuristic version of the Punisher. That's what I kind of had in my head. Just chilling out of a building, waiting for some bad guys to come up through the underhive or whatever and blow them away. But yeah, that was like 3 weeks of painting nearly every night. There's so much fucking detail on these. Frank Ruin Castle, yes. Yeah, there you go. Anyone that paints a lot of this shit, fucking well done. What I'm probably gonna do is break that dude off. It's on a base. When the rules said it had to be on a base, like they said must be on a Games Workshop base. So this is like self-adhesive cork floor tile. So you just cut a circle out of it and just whop. Done. Why not? Why not? Had to be finished off. So yeah. Crownblade, how you doing, mate? Main unit, what up? So yeah. I won first place for that. So, it's public voting, and then we just building. Why? Building. Never mind, eh? Average is fighting me. Water is coming with the air every time covering a model. Do you know what the problem is? Because I can guarantee tell you it's one of two things. The first one is harder to fix, which is that your seals aren't very good. The second one is that your oh wait, no, you just said water, not paint. It's because you've got water in the line, dude. It could be the needle not seated properly. That was where I was going with my second one, but he said water, not paint. Do you have a moisture trap? And more importantly, is it at the end of the hose where the airbrush goes? Because everyone says, oh, I've got a moisture trap on my compressor. It's on my compressor. And they forget they've got 6 foot or so of condensing unit right here. Get one of these. I got this from Green Stuff World. Just this little assembly right here. It cost, I don't know, like 5-6 quid. You press that to flush the little tank out. This is what you need to stop water coming out the other end. Because if it's right down there, when water condenses in the hose, which is where it's likely to condense, coming out of a warm compressor into the atmosphere surrounding a hose, which is going to be a lot cooler, you will start to get a moisture build up. If your moisture trap's not at this end, you have a little bit of a wheel on your mini. That's it. I've had so many people, people that have considered themselves knowledgeable painters, tell me I've got that on the wrong end. George! Mate, I am looking forward to seeing you at the weekend. It's going to be awesome. Going to go meet up with George. Archon Castles, Aerial Venturi. I don't think Mike's ever joined the channel. Wow, what a scumbag. But the tournament I'm going to, I'm playing on a Sunday event. There's 2 one-day events happening, back to back. Organised by the guys at Hellstone Wargaming. If you guys want, I'll go through my opponent's list in a minute. It's fucking savage. It's not ideal. I'm not loving it. And he's a good player, so I've got very little chance of winning. I have a game plan. I think it's not a good one. I'm gonna get so wrecked, which means I don't have to worry about winning the game. Winning any prize on the day, because with 24 players, you go in 3 rounds. You go 12, 6, 3. So you've got to be undefeated to get first, second, or third. Make sure you get first turn. That is part of my plan. Is go first, believe it or not. But yeah. Anyway, George and a couple of lads, like I mentioned, we're going out for a curry on the Saturday night. So while I'm losing to the phenomenal Marcus Hinson, who is one of the, I won't say one of the best, but one of the better players in the UK, certainly one of the more well-known players. While I'm losing to him, I can wreak vengeance by onion bargee guffing around the table. Because I'm going to have some bargees. We're going there. It's going to happen. Alright, you guys want some list prawn? Alrighty. Do you want me to go through my list? You've kind of heard it before, but if anyone hasn't, or wants to know how I play knights and what my take is, let me know. And that way you've got some context about why I'm shitting myself against my opponent. Just roll 6s. That's a strong part of my plan. Ichu, what up, dude? Is a game plan pocket sand? Pocket sand, brilliant. God. Abaddon's Lost Arms, do they honestly not understand your name? They're too young in that case. They haven't had as many years in the hobby as the rest of us, clearly, and therefore, you know, should just be pitied a little bit. Just pat them on the head if they don't understand that. Right, are there any bits here where we could just put in a few little scratches? Yep. So especially on these darker areas that we've got up here at the top, these will stand out a lot more than anywhere else. We want to keep them light still. Just a little bit of like a nick, a scrape, a scratch, whatever. Not when you know, when I was on the GW official stuff, they all seemed confused. Brilliant. That's because they're all 8 years old in that, mate. Like, I swear their Twitch chat is full of 2 kinds of people. One of them is children, the other one is people that probably shouldn't be around children. And I don't mean that in like a odd, like, sexual predator way. I just mean there's just something wrong with them. May as well highlight this area we were never going to bother filling that gap. There's a massive, great big golden... And that mould line there, by the way, I know it's there. I spotted it on... What did I do? Whatever day it was that I did just the base coats for this, it's probably a weekend a couple of weeks ago. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh, fuck. But I've got a plan. You'll see the plan later on. I've got a plan. They get half their own rules wrong. They do, yeah. I'm talking about the community rather than the Warhammer community team. But hey, here's what it is. Right, let's go through the knight list then, quick. It won't take long. There's only 2 data sheets. Cerberus76, thank you for that follow and welcome to the stream. You've seen... Oh, what, you fake? Yeah. Mate, you don't have to worry. Just hide all your shit, apart from the crew, and then all those las cannons are going to do nothing against the crew. He'll kill... If he fires 26 las cannons at unit crew, he'll kill 12 crew. Who gives a toss? He's hitting on 4s, so 13 hit. Let's say, well, in fact, in that case, he'll actually kill 11 crew because they roll 2 1s to wound. Done. Anyway, my list is, like I said, 2 data sheets. It fits into 1 super heavy detachment, which means that because my Warlord is in there, I'm going to play in pure Imperial Knights. We do get our full 6 command points refunded, which we then immediately spend. Immediately spend. No thought for keeping much. Like, no. Blow all that. Every time. Who cares about command points? So we have 3 Knight Crusaders. We've got 2 with thermal cannon, Gatling cannon, heavy stubber, heavy flamer, Ironstorm missile pod. I think that's all the guns. Yep, that's all the guns. And then 1 with all of that, but instead of the heavy stubber, he's replaced it with a melter gun. Gav Unit! Thank you very much for that sub, dude. Oh, and I got an emote for it. Cheers, mate. Mate, that Ironstorm pod is that's the key to the list. And I've been saying that for 2 years. Those pods are the best thing in the list. Nightmare! Thank you for that follow and welcome. So, as a pure knight player, one of the things you can't do is interact with terrain. And in the old edition, it just meant you couldn't move through it, but you still get a cover save. Whereas now you can't really do anything with terrain. Although, unfortunately, you still take the movement penalty for things like craters and so on. So, that's a pain, but it is what it is. Anyway. With my Crusaders, my Warlord has the 2-up armor save, the Armor of Sainted Ion. And he... Danny Tubbs! Getting his sub on as well. That's 3 months now, man. Dude, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, Warlord, Armor of Sainted Ion, and then the new Mechanicus household trait, Cold Eradication. I love this. This is super good. Super good. So Cold Eradication is a Engine War Warlord trait, and every single time you fire a weapon with a random number of shots. So on him, that's the Ironstorm missile pod, thermal cannon, and the heavy flamer. Okay. Every single time you fire a weapon with a random number of shots, you roll 1 extra d6 and discard the lowest. So that really helps even out those like bad runs of like I just rolled 2 for my thermal cannon. And, even if you do have a tremendously shocking roll and say roll double 1, if you use a command reroll to reroll your number of shots, which is one of the few things you can still do, then you still roll both dice and you still pick the highest out of those 2. So it makes it a very sort of secure way of getting a decent number of shots out. So we like it a lot. Hurtus, what up, dude? Obviously, 2 of those weapons have got blast, so that really helps. And that heavy flamer has come in clutch several times. You know, sometimes you just want to get that guaranteed kill in, or you need to overwatch something. Like a Smash Captain, it's got 1 wound left. Sometimes that heavy flamer has done the business. No worries, George. Vector, I wish, brother. Like, that's not on the cards. Not for... Well, I've never competed in one, so that doesn't help. I appreciate, but... Thank you, though, man. I really appreciate the compliment. So yeah, he's really good. And the 2-up armor save is super important. I take very much all of the durability that I can and add that into my list. Because just the basic knight profile is enough to do what you need it to do anyway. Adding in a load of extra offensive stuff, sure, would be great. Be really, really great. But I'd rather they stay alive. So that 2-up armor save against anything that's like horde clearing, anything that's AP -2, saves you having to rotate on. Means in close combat, from things like power fists and thunder hammers, you're still okay. You're rocking a 5-up save. You're alright. You will live through a lot more than you should, just because of that. Big change. Just going to grab a quick extra highlight on some of that gold. We've got our normal mix of gold, which is the Scale 75 Dwarven Gold, and silver from Vallejo Model F. Vector, cheers for that follow, mate. Thank you. So, next night is my guns night. This is the one that we do go full out on our offensive capability. Obviously, Cold Eradication is going to give me some of that anyway, but this is clutch. So this guy, being Housecrast, always played Housecrast. Ever since the Codex, I've played Housecrast. Back when everyone was playing Raven, we were playing Crast, and now everyone's playing Crast. Get off my lawn, people. I built this house. It's my house. You've got First Night, which means you just reroll 1s to hit. Which is amazing. It happens in the fight phase, which if it's a fight phase after the first, is really important. So if it's in your opponent's turn, they haven't fallen back. With whatever you didn't quite manage to kill, you're still getting a little bit of rerolling going on. Gotta love that. We've got then the weapon relic, Endless Fury. Now, for a long time, I gave this guy Headsman's Mark. Every game, it was like Headsman's Mark, Headsman's Mark, Headsman's Mark. But Headsman's Mark's great. It's so strong. But now people aren't taking nothing but vehicles in an Iron Hands list or an Imperial Fist list. Don't need it as much. And Endless Fury is great. So because you've got to declare everything. Vector, not everything has hazard stripes on it. I mean, this guy does, and this guy's got like 2 ish. But those have got hazard stripes on as well. This hasn't got hazard stripes on it yet. I mean, it hasn't got hazard stripes on it. A little aeronautical orc planes, and this guy, I think Ben would kill me if I put hazard stripes on his mini. So we haven't done that one yet either. Not everything does, but I love hazard stripes, man. They're the most metal thing in all the world. How can you not like them? What's not to love? Right, gonna get a quick bit of silver paint going on for some of this barbed wire. Then we can start getting a load of things done, like convert all of this into like a rocky, mossy, lichen area there. We're gonna get some grass tufts going on up here. And then we start work on the base and the statue a little bit to finish this guy off. It is 20 to 10. We got bags of time. Yet, yeah, everything's yet. Pilots a cracker, dude. I've got your mini. It's right when it's out of arm's reach, but it's right there on the counter. Meant to get to the post office both today and yesterday. Hasn't happened. It will happen. Hopefully tomorrow. Well, definitely happen tomorrow. Finish work. Shit. I'm gonna finish work at like 9 PM tomorrow. It should happen tomorrow. If not, it will happen Saturday before I go to Mansfield for the tournament. Really sorry about the delay, dude. Sig Weathering, thank you very much, Walter's Workshop. If you want to know how we did it, exclamation point YouTube, and just go back one video, or was it two? Pretty sure it's just one video, and you'll get a full guide on how to do exactly this weathering. If you want to do things like the rust, we've got plenty of videos that show how to do rust. My own special shitty rust technique. I'm sure you can find one. So what we're doing here is we're just nicking a few of the spikes essentially on this barbed wire. Thanks for the follow, man. You check it out. Good stuff. Do you have a YouTube video for hazard stripes? Yes, we do. We did all of this top carapace on YouTube for the hazards. So we did that from like absolute nothing to where we are now. No part of that has been done off air, apart from I think the OSL, which we've done in previous videos. But all of the chevrons on the shoulders, the legs and everything else like that, that was all done at the same time. But we only did this part start to finish. So all the tape that we used was already on these bits. We're starting to get a really good collection of sort of tips, tricks and techniques over on YouTube now. And we're nearly at, and this is a tremendous milestone for me, I checked it today because somebody was asking me about, they're going to do a favour for me. And they're going to do it for like half the ad revenue of a video. And I had to tell them that I wasn't. Yes, we've got it. Woo! Yay! 400! We will do better. Considering that's been active for a couple of months, and the only thing we've ever done really to promote it is that Indomitus giveaway we did. I'm okay with it. So, milestone achieved. We got that little 5 gamer points unlock earlier today then, clearly. So thanks to whoever number 400 was. You're a boss. So yeah, these little bright silver flashes there just help to accentuate how dark everything else is. Yeah, some of the videos are long, but that's because we've done a lot of like all-day streams. So it feels like every month we've done something where we've done an entire weekend's worth of stream. We did the Indomitus weekend where we painted the Judicia, we painted the Scorpec Lord. We did an entire Nurgle Demon army in 35 hours. And this weekend, not this weekend, next weekend, those of you that weren't here earlier on, we're doing the Necronathon. 110 minis, 2,500 points in 48 hours. We've got 15 prizes to give away minimum over the course of that weekend. We've got sponsorship from the Alliance Open. We're giving away a ticket to their Super Major in Utrecht in the Netherlands. The first ever European ITC Super Major. You could get your place in history attending that event. There's a ticket for that up for grabs, and whoever wins the ticket, we'll hang out, we'll have lunch, we'll maybe do some maybe like a whip gallery style critique on some of the minis that you brought with you to the event. Have a few beers, and if you're not entering the best painted single mini contest, you can come and help me judge it. So there's loads going on. Always loads going on. Let's stay busy. Helps keep the voices in my head quiet. I am totally joking about that. Nobody take that seriously. Here, Meeps. You're being an idiot. So yeah, some of our videos are long. Real long. Anyway, we were talking about... Oh, there's Mr. Brutal and Chimo. They're both going. I expect you both to come and say hello. So, we've got Endless Fury in the first night on one night. We've got 2-up armor save and cold eradication on another one. And on the third night, this guy's got the melter gun, because melter guns cost 10 points and heavy stubbers cost 5 points. Why the fuck is a heavy stubber worth 5 points? Please, someone find a way of explaining that to me. Because even when he gets 4 shots, it's like, is it worth it, really? But whatever. Whatever. I'd rather have a guardsman than a heavy stubber. He's useful. Fuck it. I'd rather have a grot than a heavy stubber. He's easy to hide and useful. So, our third Crusader has got his melter gun. He's got Iron Bulwark for a 4-up invulnerable save. And he's got Sanctuary for a 5-up invulnerable save flat. So he gets a 4-up invuln from shooting, and a 5-up invulnerable save in combat. And a number of times that has caught somebody out. Smithy! You sub it as I come up on screen. Okay, man. It might take a minute, but let's get some hype for Smithy. He's been here a while. I'd say he's an old schooler, but he's actually still a schooler. And he got his GCSE results today. Was it what you wanted? You got a grade that you're happy with, or at least feel that you've earned. You know, was it right? Awesome, dude. I'm happy for you, man. That's just brilliant news. Necronathon weekend stream, hour 2. After hours of painting glowing eyes, Jay has begun talking like the Terminator, challenging people to the robot dance competition and claiming that he has achieved peak Necron. Brilliant. Oh, God. So yeah, third Crusader. He's got all of the defensive relics and traits. He's hard to kill. And he's the one that obviously gets put in harm's way against things like Smash Captains. You can rotate his armor shields in combat because he has a 5 invulnerable save, and the strat just says increase your invulnerable save by 1. So Sanctuary still works with it. Smithy, I'm great, man. That's a lie. Today has been a hard day, and I'm fucking dead. So why we're highlighting tiny bits of barbed wire, I have no idea. AMP services. Let's get some hype in the stream right now for my man Justin. How are you doing, dude? If you guys aren't following this guy, you need to. This man is maybe the most positive person on Twitch. Bob Ross ain't got shit on him. Gamer Louie, thanks for that follow. How are you, man? How was your stream? I know you have to dash off to work. You're a busy man. But I had a good stream, man. Love those hazards, mate. The most metal thing ever. Got to get them absolutely on point. They're my favourite thing. I love my knights. This is the 3rd Halverin, and I think the 8th mini in the army. Love them. Anything with hazard stripes on, I'm immediately a fan of. So welcome to everyone that's just joined in. Hope you guys all had fun over there. Today, we're painting our Halverin. This is the last mini I need to get finished for SM Battle Report's No Retreat tournament in Gibraltar this September. Chaos Army may or may not be from Iron Warriors, so I too love the hazards. Yeah. Hazards for life, man. So you take it easy, and everyone, give that man a follow. Don't use the Warglaives. No, I don't use the Warglaives. I don't like the Warglaives. I'll explain why in a bit. But yeah, this is why we're painting this guy. We've got a tournament this weekend where there's no like minimal painting requirement, and so he's definitely like tabletop ready, and there's no best painted prize, so you know there's no need to put the effort in, but I want my boys to look awesome on the table. That's why we do what we do. There you go, that's better. Pick up that a little more. Take it easy, brother. Have a good one. So we have 3 Halverines. We have 1 unit of 2, just so we can fit them in the detachment, because you only got 5 choices, and we'd be at 6 if we had them all as individual units. So you got 1 unit of 2 and 1 unit of 1. The only downside to it is it limits your deployment a little bit. But the reason I love Halverines, there are two reasons I love Halverines. There's reason 1, and there's reason 2. These things are the shit. So good. Very long range, which helps you out substantially. Because most of your army's got a sort of 36 inch range on their guns. If you have to be in a down table position, it makes it hard. But at long range, strength 7, so they challenge every infantry man on the board, wounded on 3s at worst. And they're effective against vehicles, wounded on 4s. Flat 3 damage. And that right there, that's the kicker. That is the absolute kicker. Because with flat 3 damage, it means that every single time a custody fails his save, he's dead. Every single time an aggressor fails his save, he's dead. Necron destroyers, dead. Wraiths, dead. Think about all the things in the game. Paladins, 3 wounds. They hate that damage 3. They hate it. That's super clutch. Now I appreciate some of the things that I've said have got like innate ways or inbuilt ways with strats to deal with that 3 damage, take it down a little bit, make it more manageable for them. But yeah, that Halverin's good. I love them. So it's a simple list, right? Very, very simple list. It's very difficult to hold objectives because you've got no OBSEC. Whilst you are relatively swift, you have to be in combat to get the most out of everything you've got in your army. And so, as a result, it makes it hard to just be near an objective at time. I need some brown paint, which is the brown shelf right here. Yeah, got a load of brown paint. Let's go for... let's take some dark. Let's go for this. I don't know if I've used this one yet. This is from P3. It's Umbral Umber. It's cool. So, that's cute, I guess. Dude, you've got to have like the full cartoon barrel burn going on. Have to. It's the law. So let's talk about my opponent's list. My opponent, awesome guy, Marcus Hinson. I've been told he's a lot of fun to play. However, he knows his shit inside and out and has a very competitive list. He is playing Space Marines. That's rough. Already, we're thinking, oh, this is gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Let's go through it, nice and quick. He's got a Spearhead of Imperial Fists. He's used Gift of the Flanks. Phalanx? Gift of the Phalanx. There we go. He's got Captain of Phobos Armor with a Camo Cloak, Hand of Dawn, which is the Warlord trait where you get D3 command points. He's used Hero Chapter on him as well. So that Hero Chapter, it costs you 1 CP, but you always get at least 1 back, if not 2 or 3. Average dice, you want to give yourself a command point every time just for doing this. And he's got the Eye of Hypnoth. We've got a bike squad of normal marine bikes. Not Outriders, normal bikes. Titan's got a Stormbolter. Heavy support, we've got 2 Eliminator squads with Bolt Sniper rifles, 2 Thunderfire cannons, and a whirlwind. So for Imperial Fists, they're not getting their Super Doctrine. Don't have to worry about that, because there's some more Space Marines further down. But that's a pretty sexy bit of artillery for the Fists. It's good. It's not a massive threat to my army, but that whirlwind, got to get rid of that because it wounds the Helverins on 4s. He's then got a Blood Angels battalion. Here's where it goes bad. We've got Astaroth. His fucking Black Mass ability, or whatever it's called, is grim. We've got Astaroth, Exaltation of Rage, Mantle of Strength, Leadings to Hate, Invocation of Destruction. A captain with, you've guessed it, Death Visions of Sanguinius, Jump Pack, Angel's Wing, so that's that can't overwatch me and reroll charges jump pack. Thunder Hammer, Artisan of War. Flat 4 damage, soon to be flat 5 with the new Marine bullshit coming out, which is horrendous. And a Librarian Dreadnought with Quickening and Wings of Sanguinius, which actually scares the shit out of me. That thing's horrendous in combat. Turn 3, that's going to go bailing in and do some damage. We've got an Infiltrator squad, 2 Scout squads, all with just normal everyday stuff. In the elite section, we've got a company champion, which I haven't seen in... I couldn't tell you the last time I saw one of these in the list. Mastercrafted Power Sword and the Veritas Vitae with a combat shield. A combat shield? Here we got some Death Company. We've got 10 Death Company, 2 Thunder Hammers, 2 Power Fists, and the rest of them with Chainswords. Yep. An Outrider squad, Blood Angels, so they're quite tasty. And then an Eradicator squad. So he's got a really balanced Marine list, which is great. Like a really balanced Marine list. But, oh god, I'm going to get hurt so badly turn 3. All I can hope for, and this is legit, like, the plan, is go first and hurt him, get everything I can possibly get off the table, so that he has to deep strike in his turn 2, and not in his turn 3. It's the Griff! How you doing? So that's a genuine hope. If I go first, that's what we're aiming for. If I go second, I have to table him in 2 turns. Otherwise, I die in his turn 3. I need to be on the edge of my deployment zone. Unless his Thunder Hammer squad of Death Company is on the table. If I see those on the table, I'm going to be got anyway thinking about it. Board's too small, Forlorn Fury. It's going to be enough. So, nothing we can do about that. Which means, fuck it, I guess. At least be somewhere I can overwatch them, if possible. So it's going to be a rough one. Especially when that captain does the jump up in the sky, come down on the ground, Thunder Hammer to the face with Astaroth's Black Rage, and of course Death Visions of Sanguinius, and the extra attacks from Black Rage or whatever it's called going off. It's going to be grim. Cheers, Griff. This is the last Helverin I need for my army for SM Battle Reports and No Retreat. We've got a tournament coming up this weekend, so just want to get this guy finished. Get him looking his best. So yeah, Marcus has got a strong list. Strong list and a strong player. It's a rough combination. We'll see what we can do with it. Fingers crossed we'll be alright. Right, I'm going to really thin this down now and go, basically sort of wash it into all this. So a little thicker than your normal wash, just to get it sort of pooling in the right places. But let's just splash it all over the bottom floor of everything we've got going on here. Then the next step, let's get some powders out, have a play. Or should we do tufts next? Tufts or powders? Tufts or powders? Let's do tufts. Let's do some tufts. Chris Nihilus? Nihilus? First time here? Welcome. It's gonna be grim, hence Astaroth the Grim. Yeah, Astaroth's a beast. A lot of things to remember about Blood Angels. Things like a 6-inch Hurricane Divine strat they've got going on. It's nasty. It's all manner of nasty. This is where we're at so far. Gonna have a route through the draw of tufts now. I'm gonna get some Rival Crafts Autumn tufts, but I think I've still got a couple of ones that I need from Gamers Grass. The only reason behind that is because the longest tufts that Sarah does at Rival Crafts are 10 mil. And I've been using 12 or more, it might even be like 16 mil on the other guy's bases. Like if you check out this dude here, look at how tall that grass is, yeah? We need to make sure we've got the same basing on all of them. Tufts in his drawers. I mean, you can go that way if you like. I think these are the ones we need. So we've got some Rival Crafts ones, some of their, not the one I want, Autumn Fall ones just here. Love them. But this is kind of where we need to go, which is a shame, but it's okay. A guy almost 20 years ago, GW should give me royalties for the Imperium and the Hylas. Yeah, sure, man. So how you doing though, dude? Welcome to the stream. We need a bottle cap. Super glue. We also need a nip and a pair of feet. There you go. So these are all the tools that we need. A bit of wet palette away for possibly the rest of the stream. So why do we need a knife to do some tufts? It's because you can cut them. We need super glue, because despite the fact that they're self-adhesive, this army gets transported literally all over the world. And so as a result, when we're in like Vegas at the LVO, we don't want anything to have fallen off along the way. So let's make sure everything's bolted down super tight. The tweezers obviously are going to give us a lot of help getting everything placed. I feel like I'm cheating on Sarah a little bit using these, but it's just got to match everything else. So here we go, here's our tuft. We've got basically a self-adhesive patch at the bottom and then 2 layers of grass, some really long bits and some normal length bits just underneath it. If I do that, you might be able to see it a little better. There you go. The reason we've got a knife is because we're going to trim these down. So just try and sort of separate the long tufts a little bit and then just slice through. Now, they will then immediately kind of boing out all over the place. What you need to do at that point is fold everything back up, yeah, pinch the top of it, and then just twist that together. And that will just reincorporate everything that you've got on there. So I'm going to do that for these. And we're going to need more, and we will need to use some of those Rival Crafts ones, so we'll grab those back in a sec as well. So we're going to put these tufts in some slightly weird places to begin with. And there's a big reason for that. So, on my other Helverin, let's go and grab Helverin. I think it's the next one was the first one. But yeah, it's the first one I ever did. And this, I was lucky enough to win a 3rd place prize, bronze award, given to me by Andy Wardle for this at the Cult of Paint painting contest at the Bristol City Open. And he gave me that award. Orchrist! How you doing, man? Everyone, Orchrist, absolute best Canadian. Go give him a follow. Yeah, he gave me that award before any edge highlighting had been done on this guy at all. Everything was airbrush work and base coats. That was it. None of the OSL had been done. Nothing. None of the battle damage was done. So I'd love to know what he thinks of it now. But at the time he was impressed. He was a happy boy. But this up here, look at this. We've got little bits of grass growing out of the pillar. Well, we've got another pillar here. They do exactly the same thing. So let's just grab a wee bit of super glue. If you guys aren't following Orchrist on Twitch, by the way, you certainly should. So click his name, go give him a follow. He streams a lot as well. He's a very active streamer. I'm trying to put just a little bit, but it's gone into super glue flood mode where it's decided it needs to never ever stop coming out. Let's just jam that on and hope for the best. How's it going? It's going well, dude. It's going well. We've nearly finished our newest Helverin. Grab your tweezers, little dot of super glue on the base, and then, like I said, we want to start work on this area up here. So we'll just slot that in among the barbed wire, and using our tweezers, just get that seated nice and comfortably. Now the super glue obviously dries real quick anyway, but that little self-adhesive pad that's on there will help to get that really embedded nice and quick. None of my knights have names. Like, none of them. I don't know why. I think I've never been able to just sort of settle on a name. Phew. Excuse me. Whoa. Whew, wow. I think I've ever been able to settle on a name, or even like a theme for the names. I don't know why. Don't know why. I love them. They're my favourite. They're the best army as far as I'm concerned in terms of just cool factor. I'm going to break this one down again so we'll separate out a little bit more. Don't know why I haven't given them names. There's no Nigel. It's definitely not a Nigel. Nigel's one of the shittest names ever. Nagging Nigel. Nigel the Numpty. Nitwit Nige. You know, there's so many reasons as to why Nigel should never, ever, ever be used as a name. Nige the Knobhead. You know, the list goes on. So again, just come up in here. Oh, behave. There we go. Sit that in nice and firmly, and then we'll just use our hobby blade. Just get some of those longer tufts of grass around this side of the barbed wire, as if it's sort of grown up through it rather than just lives on one side. Come on, you wee shit. There we go. Happy days. Saxtus, thank you very much, man. Everyone knows Dave. Yeah, that's true, but, you know. Dave isn't a very good knight name. Named his first knight Gorgeous George, but he lost it, so he stopped naming his knights. You'll have to explain that to me. You've lost Gorgeous George. Well, where did you lose him? He's not exactly a fucking packet of peanuts, is he? It's not as if he's inconspicuous, Nat, is it? We're changing the fighter. Oh, God. We could go on. We could go on and on. I don't care if he's Muhammad, Ahmad, Bruce Lee. You can't change fighters. I need to get copyright straight. So bad for this. Cool, so we've got a nice bit of grass tufts up there. The only problem with doing 3 is it always naturally forms a triangle. So we're going to use some of the weathering pigments to help sort of mush that up a little bit, make it look a little bit more natural. That sounded very British, you know. Well, there's several reasons for that. You know, let's get a little bit of grass tufts going on here. So for that, we'll just take this and we'll trim it down even more. So we've got a real thin tuft now. Again, just that little twist in your hands will just get everything to get back to its normal position. So we've got a nice bit of rock in here, just there. And that's going to look like it's just sort of caught some seeds on the wind or something. Giving it a nice little place to sit and be nestled in. A little bit of grass growing. He's a natural. He's mustard. Right. Any more we need to do on any of this pillar? Get another one in just here. In fact, we've got this, which is a little too big. So let's split them down, and then we'll find another space on top to put the other half of it. That's what we'll do. It's an absolutely brilliant film. I think I can remember the start. My name's Turkish. Funny name for an Englishman, I know. It was named after a plane crash. That's something I've missed in there. Like, that's my partner, Tommy. It doesn't mean we take like windy walks or anything. It just means we look out for each other. It means that I try and keep him out of as much trouble as he inflicts on me. So what do I know about diamonds? I've missed so much of it, but... How long are those sausages? 2 minutes, Turkish. How long are those sausages, Charlie? 5 minutes, Turkish. Hang on, Charlie. It was 2 minutes. 5 minutes ago. It is one of my favourite films ever. That and Hot Fuzz. If I'm ever feeling like I need a pick-me-up, if I've ever had just one of those days, right? And everyone has those days where they're just, the world can fuck off. Whenever I have one of those days, Hot Fuzz is my saviour. He's been named after a gun. In truth, he's named after a famous 19th century ballet dancer. We need Tony. Bullet Tooth? Why do they call him Bullet Tooth Tony? Well, you know, catches bullets. Why do they call him Boris the Bullet Dodger? Dodges bullet savvy. Going to London. London? 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 Yeah, London. You know, fish, chips, cup of tea, bad food, worse weather, Mary fucking Poppins, London. Shaun of the Dead. You like Shaun of the Dead? I love Shaun of the Dead, but Hot Fuzz just absolutely nails it. Everything about that film I find utterly perfect. I love zombies. I love zombie movies. But Shaun of the Dead will never compete with things like the Romero Day of the Dead and stuff like that for me. Boondock Saints is fucking brilliant. You and your fucking rope. It's brilliant. The first one and the second one. First one was better, but they're both good films. Right, we've done the pillar. Now we've got to do our statue. We're going to do a lot of the same stuff as we've done here on this, but it's really, really critical that we don't do stupid things like put them in his eyes and, you know, place it on the miniature where it just wouldn't make sense to have it. So we're going to use a lot of the crevices around the base to embed some of these, so it's just growing up over our statue. And then when we get to the stage where we're using our powders, that's when we can start getting a little bit going on into the crevices, because that'll look like a real small plant, a little bit of moss, lichen, that sort of thing. You should call it a rule of wrist. Oh, God. That's very fair, Maladeus. I understand that. You know, hence the clarification of bad food and worse weather. Does that narrow it down any, or does it really need the Merry fucking Poppins London? Those are brilliant films. Billy Connolly in the he's just epic. Like towards the end where they're in the courtroom, that man has presence and gravitas, and he's just amazing. Right, so let's do the bits on the base to begin with, because everything else we can kind of fit in as and how we please. So getting around these areas, and like we did up here where we kind of had that little narrative of, you can imagine there being like a seed that's just managed to lodge itself in there, it's rained, somehow become nourished, and has then managed to flourish and grow into grass. Anywhere around the base of here that's kind of hidden, same sort of thing would apply, right? So anywhere with too much shadow, there's not enough light to grow grasses, so be careful. But these are the areas that make sense to have these things. So that's why this one's going here, just between the statue and the pole that's right next to it. The pillar, rather, not pole. Because if it went in to this gap here, right in there, well, that's super dark. You'd never really see it. But just here, you can imagine there being just enough light coming down from above, like light coming in from the side here, that would just be able to help this little guy grow to where he is. And this works for every kind of base that you're doing. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be a fantasy base, it could be a sci-fi base. All of these things are completely fine to use for both of those extremes of like mini wargaming and so on. But the fact of the matter is, you need to have a think about where things are going to ensure they make sense to go there. Quite often I see bases, both from like GW themselves, or in the whip, or you know, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. And all the base is a flat disc of plastic with some texture paint on, and then a little dry brush of something, followed up by a couple of tufts just stuck in places. They wouldn't grow like that. It's very difficult to have something that just grows out of nowhere. Like, you need to have a reason as to why that plant survived. There's no accidental perfect plant in the middle of a barren field. Right, this one's going to go in this little crook of the elbow. So that looks like a great place for a plant to get a little bit of life going on. It makes sense for it to be there. Right. How do you know where it'll grow? You don't like an average horticulturist. Listen, mate, I occasionally have been known to have green fingers, because sometimes I haven't worn a glove while I've airbrushed. common sense, mate. Right, big old tuft. Now, obviously, don't go sticking something this size on a base. Like, just no. That's half a hedge. But get your blade out, trim this down to like 6 or 8 pieces. Just going half that way, and then let's just trim off. So we've got a couple of larger bits, a couple of smaller bits. Lockstock was good. Lockstock was good. And I kind of enjoyed Rock and Roller, but that just was not, you can't really consider it in the same vein, despite it still being Guy Ritchie. Yeah, that one was just a bit out of it. Oh, I wasn't even thinking. Yeah. That, I've just caught it. Like I said, it has been a long day. Also, I've seen Lockstock, I think, probably 3 or 4 times, whereas Snatch I've probably seen mid 2 figures. Easy. I was once so hungover that I watched Snatch 3 times in a row. Like, there was fuck all chance of me moving. That's for sure. No, that's not right. Getting around the base of this pillar, I think. It's a deal. It's a steal. It's a sale of the fucking century. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. I think I'll keep it. What I do is I set 2 lurchers, dead dogs, before you ask, on a hare. Well, what happens if the dogs catch it Turkish? Why don't Tommy? The big rabbit gets fucked. What? What we're fucked? 4 seats and a steering wheel. What are you doing here? Walking the dog. Alright, so we're running out of the places to put this that would be like a natural place to go. And we don't want to force anything in there. So we also want to make sure we've got points of interest on the base from all angles. We don't want to cover up any of this silver plate we've got here, for instance. But there's nothing stopping us just getting close to it. Because there's a lot of orange on there because of the rust. There's a lot of orange on our knight, again, because we've done the rust. And so that orange is going to contrast well with our green. And it'll make the two be a little bit brighter. Dinos! DK, bud, how you doing? It feels really weird calling you DK because when I played World of Warcraft, this was many years ago now, my main character was a feral druid on an RP PvP server as well. I can't believe I got away with this one, called Deathcake. D-A-T-H-K-A-I-K-E. Deathcake. It's a big fat bear. And so, as soon as you got into a raiding guild, everyone shortened your name to whatever the easiest abbreviation to yell out in a raid was. So it became DK. And then, of course, everyone just calls you by whatever that abbreviation is. So, you know. What do I make for dinner, or what do I cop out and order, Mr. Chef? Well, I don't know what ingredients you have, so You tell me. What ingredients have you got? You give me like 3 ingredients that you've got, and I'll tell you a meal. Also, so this is a weird tangent from painting, alright? In a couple of weeks, I'm having some friends come over for an evening. We're going to chill out, maybe smoke some stogies, chat shit, drink. And then the following day, I'm hosting another tournament, the Bad Luck Brawl, at my local Atlantic Games. Now, I promised Mark I'd make him steak. So, if you guys want to have like a little Instagram story of how I prepared a steak as we go, then let me know. Heaps of cheese for the most part. Oh, mac and cheese, man. What's the weather like near you? If you're on share now, you're a big fat bear. He was a good boy. He was the bestest bear. He was Deathcake, the Celestial Defender. When we got our server first Algalon kill. So happy about that. Kept that title forever. That was the only title I ever wanted. Super cool. I just wish all the transmog shit had been out when I still had my tier 5 armor in my bank, because I loved the way that thing looked. Alright. Oh, that looked dumb. So, let's just boost the volume over here. Get even more green going on, and then the last one as well. Be somewhere around that area. Oops. That's the sticky bit. I think we've managed to stretch this one out of all proportions, so we'll just bin it. Cool. Alright, so that's a load of tufts going on. Next up, powders. We'll do some mac with some fried sausages. Yes. Yes. Mac and cheese, man, it's one of the nicest things. Everyone's got their own little thing that they add into it to make it theirs and to just sort of accentuate the flavour a little bit. For me, I use leeks because you want that nice mellow onion taste, I feel. I use bacon, like proper thick lumps of bacon, not rashers of bacon, but like lumps of bacon. Just cut that down, cube it up. That goes in real nice. And then English mustard. Smoking Aces in London. If I'm ever down in London, I might try that one out. Was that carbonara greater than mac and cheese? I can't back you on that, just because I love cheese, and the sheer gargantuan amount of it that you can cram into a mac and cheese beats a carbonara. And if I'm making a carbonara, there's no fucking cheese in sight. No cheese in sight. Right, we need some green pigment. Here we go. We've got some brown and some black pigment on our pad already. Here's a bit where I hope my allergies don't start playing up. I'm just going to mess around with these, but it is what it is. So we're going to go with some black soot. We're going to just darken down some of the recesses we've got on here. We use some dark earth, just break it up a little bit. Then we're done on the base section. We're going to use this to start giving our areas that we painted brown on the pillar, some of the bits and pieces on our statue, a nice little bit of like lichen, moss, that kind of thing. What's about a mac and cheese sandwich? I can't get behind that. I just can't. No. It's just a no for me. Like, there's several things that my housemate does that he's like, no, this is an acceptable food, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is not an acceptable food. Like the worst one was his Easter breakfast, where he took a chocolate cake. It was an Easter chocolate cake, like a round chocolate cake, one of those crappy Cadbury's ones you buy off a shelf that have clearly been there for months. He cut it in half, so like bisected it, turned that part on its side, scooped out the inside and put that in a bowl next to this that was also in the same bowl. Took a load of mini eggs, emptied them into that like casing that he'd made out of cake, filled it out with milk, and then ate that. That's... no. Chicken, noodle, and cheese sandwich. Wait. Noodle... Alright, firstly, I've never eaten super noodles. Never eaten super noodles. Never, ever been that desperate. Basic. I was about to say that broke, but I have. I've just not eaten. I've never been that desperate to eat super noodles. I just, the thought of that is a no for me. Let alone put them in a sandwich. Nah. Nah, mate. Nah. Right. Let's just start dotting this in here now. You guys have seen how we do weathering pigments. We don't seal them with anything. So these are the last things to go down on a mini, because normally we varnished by this point, but we didn't need to varnish any of what we've been working on today, so no issues there. And we're just using this to darken up some of those areas. So just look at his elbow, look at how like nice and bright grey that is. What we're going to do is just going to stipple in some of these pigments down here. It's been a meeps that just flew past me at 100 miles an hour. Just do that. And then suddenly we get a little bit more interest going on there, a little bit darker. It's good. I thought you're bounced out of super noodles. No, I'm insulting maybe your taste buds though. Why? Just no. I like a bean stew. Served in this, like a cassoulet. Bit like that. Drunk Mystic, that's an awesome name, and thank you for that host. Much appreciated. You're doing some fajitas. I had Mexican for dinner as well. I had a very large lunch. So yesterday I had an absolute like craving. I don't know why, but I desperately wanted chips yesterday. I haven't eaten chips in, oh God, since before lockdown. Maybe February, maybe January. Might have been January was the last time I had chips. I don't know. Just really wanted chips yesterday. And so I went and bought some like frozen chips. I don't have a deep fat fryer, and I don't really keep enough oil here to do stuff like that. I try and keep things quite light, but obviously when you're doing chips, you need to do chips. So yesterday I had chicken and chip wraps. Some red peppers, a little bit of lettuce and tomato. Nice big floury tortilla. It was good. Banging. But I cooked up all the chips and I had a load left over. So today I chopped them up, put them in a pan with some oil, got them all nice and crispy, threw in some sugar snap peas that I crushed up, snapped in half, some pastrami, and then when that was just done, a couple of eggs, a little bit of cheese on top, bung it in the oven. That was a banging lunch. So we had a really nice sort of filling pastrami sort of hash, essentially, for lunch. That was great. So for dinner I needed something nice and light. Just made up some ham quesadillas. Nice. Loving all the stew stuff going on. This sounds great. I've lived off just bagged rice. I used to buy brown rice by the kilo when I was super skin, and just eat brown rice, and it's taste of nothing. This is what I imagine the Matrix food tastes like. It's just brown rice. It's not good, but at least it's nutritious, and the carbs are better for you than white rice, allegedly. There's more protein in it, I think, was the reason I ended up going with it. So a little smattering of dots there, just to give a little bit more variation to what's going on. But there's that part done. Pop the top back on that, and go for our dark earth next up. This stuff's great. It's super good. I love ramen. I fucking love ramen. Spend a day making ramen, no problem. I've never had that whole like century egg thing, the pickled egg. I've never made that at home. So just gonna dot some of this around. It's just gonna give us a little bit of an accent color here and there on our ground, start to sort of break up some of what we've got going on. And again, notice we're not sealing this, we're just sort of smushing it into the base of the brush. Blow off the excess. You've still got plenty there. As long as you don't start rubbing the base with your finger, it will stay there as well. Right, on the statue, do you want any of this? No, it's too much of a colour change. What we will do though, this is a really good idea. Anywhere where you've got a tuft, work your basing powder, your weathering powder, into the bottom of the tuft. And it looks like it's grown up through the grass. If you're doing a muddy field, especially, something like this is super clutch. But by doing this, it just makes it look a little bit more like that plant belongs there. You don't need a lot, because you don't want like a brown plant or whatever, unless you want a brown plant, in which case go for it, but just use brown tufts instead. But it just helps to seat it. Looks like it may be in a little bit of dirt, somewhere it can actually have the capacity to grow. It also, because we use super glue to seal these in, any of that super glue has kind of got that white, dried sort of crust on it. That sounds so wrong, but you guys probably know what I mean by that. It just helps hide all that as well. So, many good reasons. Not essentially, I have no ideas. I thought they were meant to be like super old, but they're clearly not. Eggs going in there. Thought that was the deal. Is it like super traditionally meant to be, or I don't know. I'm fine with an egg in my ramen, but I just soft boil an egg and chuck it in ice water. Oh god, no, Jaeger, that's horrible. Ugh. So over here in England we have this thing called brawn. I don't mean like strength, but brawn is a dish, it's food. And what it really is a boiled pig's head. And once you've boiled it, you kind of flake away all of the flesh and you set it in a terrine dish, and away you go. You've got yourself a nice little tasty thing to have with toast and butter, and oh, it's lovely when it's done right. Really, really good when it's done right. The reason I bring that up is because years ago I was dating a Danish chick, and I said about brawn, she didn't understand what it was, so I explained to her, oh, we have this thing, we call it head cheese. And I'm like, oh, well, we have this thing that we call head cheese, and it's not that. And I explained to her what head cheese was, And nobody wants to have that discussion on stream. And so, since that point, she's never been able to eat it. Ugh. Right, now we're going to go on to the greens. So I'm just going to chuck a load into our little top here. And this is going to be used in loads of places to help simulate the look of lichen or moss. What grit of sanding stick do you use? Any and all. Depends on what I'm doing. If it's something super rough, then low grit. If it's something super fine, looking about sort of 320 to 400. Anything more than that, and it's kind of taking the mick. The 320 will still leave a little bit of a scuff, so if it's something I really, really, really care about, then we'll get the 400 out and just finish it off. So it's drawn basically pig pate. No, it's extremely, extremely coarse. It's unlike pate entirely. It's pressed meat. It's more of a terrine than anything else. So what we're doing here is we're just spotting this onto all of the areas where we've got that brown paint from earlier on. So like here, for instance, just to start giving that a little bit of a lived on kind of look. And then we'll just blow off the excess, like so. So now we've got something that's got a little bit of life, maybe a little bit of moss and so on and so forth going to it. Have a dish similar to haggis, call it Berta, we use pig organ instead of sheep. Fair. It's Toba, not Berta. Okay. I like haggis, I got no issues with that at all. There's a vegan somewhere in the world that's just become immediately triggered by the fact that I said that, and about this much of me gives a damn. No, I like the taste of haggis. It's good, nice and spiced and peppery and full of like. This is what I was talking about earlier on, where I said we'd hide and just sort of bed in our tufts a little bit, help break up that pattern of it looking. Well, I won't say like a triangle, it's three of them. They are in a triangular formation. But it just helps to sort of take away from that a little bit. Black pudding. Oh, yes. Big fan. Although, weirdly, I don't like white pudding. It just seems a bit nothingy. Just find a few random patches here and there for some more of this. Again, just to help break up and apply some variation to what we've got going on. All this around the bottom is a great place for stuff like this to grow as well. So there's loads going on here. Now, if you guys want to learn how to do this, obviously you've got access to all the streams. You're more than welcome to ask me questions, but remember we have just started promoting our private painting classes. We've sold a couple, actually, so we've got some students already. And if you would like to know a bit more, then get in touch with me over Discord. You're looking at about 30 quid an hour, and ideally a lesson would last an hour and a half, so £45 for that hour and a half slot. The only reason I say that is because I think an hour is sometimes not long enough to fully get around a concept. Now, when you come to one of the lessons, we're going to want to work on something specific within the time frame that we have. So let's say, for instance, you wanted to learn how to do weathering. We could spend a lesson doing just weathering. But to do that, I'd want you to rock up with a fully painted mini that we could then work on. So you'll be able to paint your mini, I'll be able to do something else here, and I'll show you through what we've got. Let's say, however, you wanted to learn how to paint a particular chapter of Space Marines, or how to paint gold and other metallics in a way that is a little better than you currently are. Whatever you want to do, we can find a way to teach you. It might mean that I occasionally have to sort of get back to you on a lesson once I've worked out how to do it. But if that's the sort of thing you're interested in, message me on Discord and we can look to book you in a time slot. Currently got a paint all 3 wings of the Dark Angels on as well. Griff, peace out. White Penny, I just never really got on with it. Too many sprues! It's ready with a party of 2. Many sprues. How you doing, dude? What's up? Cost in USD? I don't know, because I accept the payment in Great British Pounds. But I guess something like $53 or something. Apparently it's fruit pudding, tatty scones, and sliced sausage. Oh no, not sliced sausage. No. Mini Zerka, how you doing? Too many sprues. How'd your stream, man? What were you up to? What you've been working on this fine evening? We're just making this look a little bit yellow and green in places. But look at how much like an old abandoned statue that looks. This little touch of green is making it look super realistic. And it's taking no effort whatsoever. We're just smooshing this into places on this. Done. Start the Tiger Tank. Awesome, mate. Awesome. That's going to be a beast and a half to get put together, mate. So, you know, I wish you all the best of luck powering through. Was it 135 scale or something you said? It's a big boy. It's a big boy. I don't think I've ever had tatty scones. Is it like a normal scone but made with potatoes? You do wet brush or powders? No, you should definitely not use a wet brush. That's a lie. Okay, so what we teach on the channel here is my way of doing stuff, and my way has won me awards. It's, you know, a way that I get a lot of compliments and things on, and I like it. I like the effect that it gives. So for me, my way, no, we don't use a wet brush. We don't seal them with anything. We put them on dry. They stay dry, and that's it. You just don't like rub the mini and so on. But anyone handling my minis, I'd expect them to be respectful of the paint job and so on, right? So they go on dry. Because if you use a wet brush, you don't have a weathering powder anymore, you have paint. Because the only difference between this pot of green and something like maybe, I don't know, Death Guard green, Elysian green, whatever, is the fact that this doesn't have medium in. That's it. If you add medium, if you add wet to this, you get paint. And paint dries differently to the powder, just remaining on the mini. So there's a very large difference between the two in terms of the finished effect. And if you seal this, if you introduce moisture to it, it changes the effect quite dramatically. It takes it back to a paint before it dries down. It's just a paint with some weird properties. And that's why we do it this way. Say the Danish shake, but you never had... Not to my knowledge, but if you describe what it is, maybe I have. But it doesn't work. Are you talking to me or are you talking to Jager? You're talking to Jager. Right. So let's get a few bits of this into some of the recesses on this big old hourglass. And we might get a little into the text as well, but don't really want to break that up too much. What time are we at? We are at 10 to 11. So about half an hour left in the stream. We've only got a little bit left to do on the night. which is our final sort of thing to do, which is to get some leaf litter down. That's quite an interesting thing. We can talk about that a little bit, but again, just look at how much change that's had to our statue, right? This whole thing now looks very much. You've ever seen I Am Legend, or even better, the Shannara series that they did for Netflix? Maybe. You know how in the Shannara thing they are walking through like the modern world, except it's the modern world after some horrendous catastrophe has happened, and then many hundreds, if not 1,000 or so years have gone by. Oh, it's MTV. Cool. I think I watched it on Netflix. Maybe they got it over here. And everything's overgrown, so you'll see like cars, but there'll be entire very large trees and bushes sort of growing out of this car. I want this to have the same kind of effect. We want this to be a completely forgotten Imperial world that has gone to nature and brought back with just some normal life before, unfortunately, these guys come in to fuck it all up again entirely. It's baked pate made from liver, onions, fat and spices. No, but that sounds delicious. She was not much of a cook, if I'm honest. And also, I visited her once, and she visited me twice, and then the long distance thing became too much for two horny 20-somethings to really cope with too well. There we go, I think. Probably done. Just gonna get a little into these like weird skeletons. They look like, unfortunately, like child skeletons, but they wouldn't be. They'd just be like normal people. It's just the weird scale is what we've got going on. There we go. Cool. Leaf litter. Alright, let's have a chat about that. This stuff's cool, because mostly it's not leaves. Chicken fingers! How you doing, man? Right. We shouldn't use the top. Have we got some scrap? No, I'll just use tissue, which is not ideal because it's too light. Alright, never mind. Leaf litter. So, these could be extremely, extremely tiny leaves. There you go. Alright, one tiny ass leaf. Alright, we dropped it. What it actually is, though, is not a leaf at all. This is a birch seed. But it looks a lot like a leaf. And you can buy these in tubs from Green Stuff World, and some of them you'll notice have like split open, and occasionally you'll get just a little sort of particle like this little fella. But they're really, really good. And a bit of twig. Now, Green Stuff World, there you go, just right down there at the bottom you can see some of the seed like pods themselves, yeah? Oh, wait. Yeah, just down there at the bottom. Look like baked beans. They're not baked beans. So, these, collect them, dry them out, whatever. So, for chicken fingers like you, bag it all up. Send it to Sarah. It could do. But these are brilliant for representing leaves on your minis. Now, a lot of the time you'll see these just sort of 2 or 3 on a base, and then that's it, done. Because really that's all you need to get any kind of effect on a normal miniature. So let's say you've got like this dude, who we might even finish off this evening. We've got some time. Let's say you've got this dude, and he stood on something that's meant to be a field. You'd have like 3 or 4, perhaps, these leaves on there. Because in comparison to this guy, if we grab one of these little leaves and hold it next to his head, for instance, you can see they're pretty meaty leaves. So imagine horse chestnut leaves, like maple leaves, I don't know, oak leaves, like a big chunky leaf, yeah? That's what you're dealing with here. But we're not dealing with something that is the normal scale. We're dealing with an Armiger, and this guy is, I think a Space Marine comes up to about, let's see, a Primaris Marine's there, and he's 9 foot tall in his armor, so that's 18, maybe 20 foot tall to the top of that heavy stubber. So we can get away with breaking the rules a little bit when it comes to scale by chucking in more of these. Now, these are sealed to the base, and they're on there really solidly. The whole thing is very stiff. Because again, we don't want anything to be falling off in transit when we're going from country to country with the army to play in overseas tournaments. We want to make sure that we've got everything nice and safe and secure. And so what I seal them on with is this, actually. It's Vallejo water texture. It's basically not resin, but it's sort of usable as. It's clear acrylic, as you can see, and it takes about 24 hours to dry to a thin layer and probably about 48 hours to cure properly. So this is not a short thing to do. I don't need to use these guys till Sunday. I'm leaving here Saturday, staying down in, well, up in Mansfield. So now is like the last chance we've got of getting this done before they get packed away in the case and taken with us. So we're going to use some of that water texture. We're going to put it onto the base in a few areas here and there. We're going to take our leaf litter, scatter it over it, and then using a pipette, just drop a few more bits of that onto the top of our leaves. That's then going to completely encase the leaves. Now, it might then end up being that you get something that's a little glossy, and that's totally fine. Do you want to know why? It just looks like wet leaves. We've all seen wet leaves, but it looks pretty much bang on. That could be what it is. Let's grab another bottle cap. Never throw these things away. You can reuse them. This one's had many different paints in, but never throw them away. The stream breaking up. Are we losing frames? We have dropped 1.7% of our frames so far, which is unfortunate, but meh. It keeps repeating. Is it stuck on a loop or something? It looks fine for me. Okay, unsure. Right, let's get a little of this in our... Alright. Let's maybe try now. Damn you to hell! Let's get a trusty cocktail stick. There we go. And try that again. Whee! Okay. Now you can use this stuff to pretty good effect to create pools of water. I've done it on a few things. The chitin, which you'll see occasionally down here. The Great and Clean one, the base that he's on, there's some of that as well. And we use it on those things there, the snow, the crushed glass, super realistic snow effects that we do as well. Same deal. Right, I need something to put this on, and I'm afraid the only thing I'm going to have to be able to use is some kitchen towel, which means it's going to blow out the white balance on the camera a little bit. You should be able to just correct that, darken it down a touch, and go from there. So bear with a sec before we just get set up. Don't anymore. So, oops. Wait. There you go. It should be okay. Yeah, it's a little dark, but we're alright. In fact, that's maybe too dark. That's good. Cool. So, grow up a pet. And these, you can buy like hundreds of these for super cheap. Then they're really, really handy. They just help you get so much more accuracy out of anything you're doing like this. So, well worth it. We use them for our UV drying resin as well, so wholeheartedly would recommend. So I'm just going to pop a little of this down. We'll do a small area of the base at a time because I know this stuff is super runny. Take our leaf litter and get a big lump of it over that area. Just sort of gently press that in. There's almost no pressure, you're just making sure it's had a chance to get introduced to that acrylic water texture and just sort of start the adhesion process. Knock off a load of excess. And then here you go, we've got a fair bit. Let's just pull some of these out from that green tuft. Some of these out of here as well. Actually, I'm fine with that being in the background there. That's cool. That looks like it's quite natural. Then just take a little bit more of our acrylic water texture and just blob this on all over. Now try not to get it on your tufts too much because that will change the way they sit and look, but just in the interest of keeping you, come on, stick to the bastard. Let's try that one again. Yeah, and that will take, like I said, a couple of days to dry fully. But it will dry. Leaf litter, I found a mission to get it stick to flock. If you want it to actually stick to flock, then you're pretty better off super gluing it and just being careful with a pair of tweezers. The only issue then is you get that kind of white mass that we were talking about earlier on, which doesn't look ideal. Sarah's probably got a better solution for stuff like that, seeing as she is the mistress of all tufts. Right, the bottom of here, just right in this gap, that's definitely a good place for a lot of this to sort of just coalesce and gather up. So let's chuck a load of that in there. Get our leaf litter again. Place and leave it a sec. Well, thin PVA, mostly because it would take ages. You might have to sit there holding it for a while, which is going to be the most interesting thing you've done never. It would work though if you used like real PVA and not some of that horrible kiddie craft shit. Yeah, it would work. Right, just going to take this one off because it's on the base rim. Don't want that. And again, because the leaves are slightly porous, they will soak up this. And that's how they dry so solid. And again, like I was saying earlier on, it doesn't matter if you get a little of this that is... Oh, you bar steward. Just try and hold it a little flatter than that. Got that all over my hands. Why the base rim's the last thing you do, guys. But there we go, we've got a nice little bit of scattered leaves in there, a little bit here. Now just apply some patches here and there. What does that apple juice taste like? It tastes a lot like the apple juice we had on Tuesday night. So it tastes a little kind of Cuban, a little aged, maybe so in a 7-year region. It's nice juice. It's good. I like it. So there, just a couple of little splodges. Trying to keep them a little more upright and stop any of our water effect just weeing down the base. Love up. Nah, this is fine, mate. This is acrylic. This is nothing. This is not going to hurt my hands at all. If I was submerging my hands in it, then yes, we'd definitely be getting some gloves on, I guess. But for that little bit, we're all right. However, thank you. And again, big thanks to everyone that saved my hands, literally, on that Nurgle Demon stream. That was, yeah, we were not operating at peak efficiency at that point in time. God, it was fun though. Still can't believe I got that army done. The only downside is with 9th edition points changes. It was a hell of a communal effort, man. Everyone pulled together for that. It was amazing. But yeah, with the point changes in 9th, to get that army on the tabletop, the only thing that I can really do to make it work, because now there's no Plague Toads. They're gone from 40k, Sigmar only. My favourites. So they can now be used as beasts. But because I've got some old beasts, and because I've got those beasts, I can't really mix and match the beasts. So that's no good. So what I end up with is 6 beasts. Because I think I changed. No, I went to 5 because of Blast. So it's 5 beasts, 3 27 or 28 Plague Bearers. I think I ended up with 15 base of Nurglings over 2 or 3 units. No, that's a lie. That was a lie. It was 5 Nurglings in 1 unit, and I had points left over to summon 6 in. A Sloppity Bar Piper, a Sporepox Scrivener, a Poxbringer. I need to do a Demon Prince. I can't believe I'm saying this. And I also need to do 3 more units of 10 Plague Bearers. With a banner. Banner's the important one. Banner and a champion, obviously, to get a champion for free. Because you want those little units of 10 to just run onto objectives and do actions, while your big units of 30 go and swamp the board and take your opponent out of the game a little bit. And then you've got 2 units of 3 Nurglings you can summon with your characters if you want to. And that's the only way I can think of getting any semblance of a Nurgle Demon army out right now. So what can you do, right? What can you do? I want to put a couple of leaves on the statue, but I think that would be wrong to do. It just also looks a bit bare. So we'll just start with like a couple on that shoulder. Let's see what we think after. So at some point we've got another 30 plague bearers to paint. Because he's a bit poo. He is just a bit poo. Great and clean one is not good. You paint 200 points of Death Guard in 48 hours. Man, I can paint 200 points of Death Guard in 48 minutes. Hand me a Land Raider and don't talk to me. Got that shit nailed. 2,000 points of Death Guard. I wouldn't want to paint it in 48 minutes. There's too much detail. So the Plague Boys for the demons we managed to do. I think that's all the leaves we'll put on there. I wasn't a humongous fan of that. We'll keep this looking nice and clean. I think we'll call him done. But the demons are easy to do because it's all flesh, whereas the Plague Marines are a mixture of flesh and not flesh. Necrons, obviously, all Necron, apart from the skulls that are on the bases, which, I mean, they take not long at all to do. Okay. So I will find bits of leaf litter and birch seeds in the living room for the next however many years. But that's fine. Let's reassemble Johnny 5. Stubber. And then, aside from the base trim that needs to be redone once that acrylic stuff is dry, that's it. One of the three. And you'll notice as well that this guy, if we go for a top-down view, and we are on maximum zoom out, this guy and this guy have different chevrons on top. And it's because these two are the two that form the one unit in the army, and this one guy is on his own. Demons are going to be a fun list, but because of the amount of points, like a greater demon of Nurgle, you're looking at 250 points. And at 250 points, he's going to get shot off the board anyway. And he's not going to do anything. So, meh. I do, however, want 3 Keeper Secrets, 3 Laws of Change, 15 Nurglings, and 30 Demonettes. That's a list. That's a sexy list. These are my Armigers. All done. Join his buddies. We'll get some proper photos taken. Get them up on the old gram. Love them. He would be fun to paint. He would. But I think my Demon Prince is going to be quite fun to paint as well. We've got him converted. I do a little bit of work here and there on him when I'm not doing anything else. And so far, all we've managed to get done is his torso. We're building him up out of 2 plague drones. Now, I have got some plague drones I could use as well. But I need to work out what else we've got left to do on this guy. So we've gone for kind of a Siamese twin plague drone at the moment. We've got some like weird conjoined tissue going on. Need to work out how we're going to work the wings in. The front feelers are easy to do. The legs that come down from here, they're also kind of easy to do. And then the heads, we'll always just find 2 different heads that look like they may be either working together or arguing against each other or just having a laugh and a joke together. But that's the stage we're at the moment. I'm obviously not the best sculptor ever in the world. I make no bones about that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But that is going to be on a again, sort of Nurgle swamp base. And we've got a bit of this is like bogwood that it took me ages to cut this with a hobby saw. But that'll sit on the base like so, and then our Nurgle demon will sit atop it, sort of maybe this far out from the wood. So the biggest challenge is the legs that come from here normally don't attach the mini to the thing. There's a hole here where you can put a flying stand in, and that would normally attach the plague drones to the base, but obviously we didn't want to leave that. You have to find a way of making the legs strong enough attached to this to hold him up. That's going to be tricky, but we'll see what we can do. So he's a work in progress and will be for a while, because we're slightly stalled on how to do that last bit. But he's cool. He's cool. Yeah, the problem with doing like brass rod and stuff like that though is I don't want it to be shown. So I need it to attach to the base without looking at all like he should be attached to the base. You see, he's placed on it, and that's all. And that's going to be the hard part. Reinforcing a joint that's going to be quite small is going to be tough. Let's raid Not Bush at the end. A cool sculptor and a chill man to wind down after just rocking, socking, energy tornado. Maybe. If anybody else wants to redeem a Guide the Ray channel points thing, 3k. Kind of easy to get that. So. But we're going to go into the whip. Before we do, we're going to promote our Necronathon. That's not this weekend, it's next weekend, the 29th and 30th of August. We have 48 hours to paint 2,500 points of Necrons. All to the same standard as that little Royal Warden you see there. Loads of OSL, loads of TMM, highlights, painted, glowing eyes by hand. We've got 110 minis to do. We've also got to base these minis. There's a lot of work to do. Between now and the start of that stream, we will need to put bases on all those minis and prime them. So that's already several hours of painting to do before we even get to that stage. So when we start that stream, we're at 48 hours. Off we go. Now we will probably sleep Saturday night. Probably get 6 hours sleep or so. Not a lot. So we'll cut the stream off maybe midnight to 2 AM Saturday. And then we'll be starting again 10 AM on Sunday, and we'll work till we're done. And the plan is get it finished by 10 AM Monday morning. Now last time we did a challenge like this, it was on Nurgle Demon Army. We spent 35 on-stream hours out of our 48. Wait, does that mean I only got 8 hours off-stream sleep and eating and stuff? That wasn't so bad. Might get less this time. But we did pretty well out of that. And I'm hoping we can keep the momentum up for this one. We have got 15 prizes so far to give away. Rival Sarah is sponsoring the stream, as are the Alliance Open. You could win a ticket to the first ITC Super Major in Europe. A place called Utrecht in the Netherlands. Whoever wins it will get to come and hang out with me. We'll have lunch together. We can have a little bit of a sort of private lesson, maybe not with any paints, but just sort of talking through a few bits and pieces to do, maybe to help improve your minis. And if you're not entering the Best Painted Single Miniature competition, which I am sponsoring, with a grand prize of an Iowata Eclipse airbrush to the winner, then you can come and help me judge, which will be cool. So that is one of the prizes. The rest of the prizes, we've got a load of Rivalcraft basing bundle giveaways. We've got minis painted by me. We've got a Necron painted by me. We've even got that £50 hobby voucher as well. So loads of cool giveaways next weekend. For now though, let's go to the whip. Let's see what we got. So this is today at 21:11. Maladaeus. My friend and I are tackling this bad boy. Go for a French World War I camo pattern. Hardest part is we want to do the overheated burnt metal for the gun ends. Nice. Now, if you'd like to get your minis in the whip, !Discord right now. Come and join in the fun. Okay, I know exactly what you mean by that camo pattern. For the gun barrels, you can go cartoony like I do. Every time. Des, I would, but that involves sculpting a leg. And I have to match the rest of the legs. That's a rough one. So, I've thought about all these things. I've even thought about reposing the legs. So I can get more... Basically, if I can repose the legs to the point where part of the mini is resting against the tree, the stone, whatever, then I can put a pin in there. But I'm really not a good sculptor. Although, Winter Station, I really, really appreciate what you're saying there. Guts hanging out. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't know why. I don't want, like, sausages on this guy, basically. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you how long that took. A long time. But I love the camo. This is good. You've got a lot of canvas there to put that camo on, though. So you only get... You get burnt out if you're not careful. So take it steady, just do a little bit at a time. It's gonna look cool though, man. Although, before... Right, I'm gonna have to stop you right here. This happens a lot on the bigger plastic kits from GW. Things like the repulsor, it happens on every time. If you look at the tracks that are right in the center of the screen there, you'll see a big gap. And it's the sort of thing that you will notice now, but you'll notice a lot more when everything else is finished, because it will be such stark difference to the rest of the mini. So before you get to that stage, get yourself some Milliput, water it down after you've mixed it, and just sort of paint it into that gap a couple of times so that it's nice and flush. Sand it smooth, rebase coat that area, and then away you go. Macy! How you doing, man? But I would definitely get that sorted before you get that camo down that end. Looks cool though, mate. Looks very, very cool. You want me to tell you something about that Baneblade? It's a tank. There you go. We're alright, man. My head's burnt out. It's been a busy day today, but we're good. Crazy Yank getting his scenery on. Looks great, dude. You need more. For a balanced game of 40k, you need, unfortunately, a fair bit more. You've got a lot of ruins there that would be obscuring. That would help. But trust me, it takes so much terrain before you start thinking, all right, that's a bit too much. In 2 years of competitive play, it's only one time I played in the terrain on a table and I thought the terrain was too much terrain. Literally one time. So yeah, your throughput is amazing. I'm happy to send you mine to paint and send back to me. Mine looks great. I love the way you've done red for the windows as well. Wouldn't have considered that. Love it. Oh no. Here we go. Those quad las cannon Contemptor dreadnoughts that are right there at the top of the meta. Well, that's the Forge Rod Baneblade. Fair. Drunk Mystic, exclamation point Discord, like Des has done. Nice, mate. Very nice. I love them. They look great. And he doesn't look like he's falling over either, which is good. Crownblade getting his big things on. Brother Robin, who had nearly fought the Demon of Agnor, who had nearly stood up to Viscous to the viscous, mutated chicken of Bristol 4, and who had personally led the retreat at the Battle of Badon Nebula. So, he's brave Sir Robin, then, is what you're saying. That's lovely. That's really nice. I like the little shield you've given him. This is the easy to put together one, isn't it? At least I can change the arms so I can change that model for a bit. Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. Like, I can tell he's got that kind of, like, sat on his haunches, very static pose. But you're doing a great job with the paint scheme, man. The purple really stands out, and the gold's got that ever so slightly rose gold quality to it, which is nice. The only thing it's going to sound super harsh, mate, because everything else is great. But the only thing I dislike is the base. Where we talked earlier on about having patches of static grass that are... There's no real reason for them to be there. They're just there. And you see it a lot. And even Games Workshop stuff, there's just like, here's some grass that we've put on a mini because we didn't know what else to do. So on the guy we did this evening, we have that statue, and we were embedding bits of grass into the statue and around it where it would be sheltered and could have the chance to grow. For the bases that you've got here, where you've gone for a kind of more rocky environment, there's nothing wrong with getting some larger stones, or even I use the dried bark for terrariums. That's a pretty moth. And you could use that. Yeah, I knew you probably saw this one coming. But just get something on the base so that the rest of it, not in my run, for fuck's sake. So that the rest of it sort of coalesces a little bit more. You'd be surprised at how little effort that is to do and how much impact that gives your mini. But the Dreadnought looks great. If I do this, he's amazing. If I do this, he's good. That's my own thoughts, obviously, my own opinion. But give it a shot, mate. You'll never go back to just doing a little bit of... Look at the steps. Right. Fucking perfect example. Look at the steps, yeah? That little bit of green stuff at the very front, next to the bone, that's in a great position. It's right there against the side of the steps, looking perfect. Your chat isn't updating. I mean, I saw that message, so hopefully it's still working. The chat updating isn't me, though. That's not the bot, that's Twitch. So, but that guy... definitely better because there's a reason for that being there. Thunder Dread. I love them. These are great, mate. Really, really good work. Right, Gav unit. Still need some more battle damage to him. Not happy with the black on the gun. Need to practice my edge highlighting more. Okay. So first off, this is really, really nice. That's a beautiful blue. It's a beautiful blue. Great job on that. When you say you need to practice your edge highlighting more, this is why it's zoomed in. And if we look at the gun, yeah, there's some areas there where it's not wonderful. It's still good. It's not wonderful. But if you look at the actual mini from the perspective of it being a mini, so if you go back to just the Discord shot, It's really tidy, mate. It's really, really nice work. And because it's really nice, I'm going to be super picky, and I'm going to tell you something you don't want to hear. But you've done such a great job on the rest of it that I feel that I have to say this, because this is the thing to improve. You've used a dry brush of some description, and you've dry brushed the base, and you've gone, I want to give him dusty boots, and so you've dry brushed his boots. Have you got a pair of boots, just like a pair of normal like walking boots or whatever? If you have, go for a walk. When you get home, knock the mud off and leave them on the side. You'll see that the majority of the dirt is not going to do what you've done here, where it will collect on the front surface like the toe cap, but it will collect in those recesses. So where his toe cap meets that kind of ankle protector that goes on, in the recess there, that's where the dirt will be. In the top recess, dirt, and so on. When you dry brush something, you cannot get into the recesses. That's the point of dry brushing. Fluke Skywalker 91, thank you to follow, and also, hey my dude, back to you. So what you should do, instead of dry brushing these, is either use weathering powders like we've been using this evening. They are beautiful for this kind of thing, because you're literally applying a dusting of, well, dust and dirt, you know, to the miniature, which means you're giving it physically the effect that you're trying to replicate as part of an illusion that you're showing your audience. So that's a really good way of doing it. The other way of doing it is you break paint. That sounds weird, bear with. If you take paint and you add so much water to it, it splits from the medium, then if you apply that to a mini as kind of a wash, it's thinner than a wash, though. We're talking like beyond a glaze. Yeah? So you've got just paint, then you've got thin paint to paint with, then you've got a little bit thinner paint to paint with, then you've got a wash, a glaze, then you've got fucked up paint. You need to be there. You paint that into the recesses, it will dry super, super matte, because all the medium has been stripped out by the amount of water you've put in. Which means you've got bits of pigment suspended in water. When that water evaporates off, you'll get maybe a little tide mark, perhaps, if you're not careful, but you'll get something that's really, really matte and just looks like dirt. So give that a shot. You've got two different ways of doing it there. Don't use a dry brush. I don't use a dry brush on any of my minis, and that includes the base. I have for this one that we've just painted today, because the rest of the army, back when I painted it 2 years ago, I dry brushed the bases. If you've got an airbrush your bases. Weathering pigments on the bases, done. The Necronathon, the entire Necron army we're doing next weekend, will not have a dry brush on it anywhere. On the entire army, no dry brush. Includes those bases. He's fucking beautiful though, mate. Well done. You said about doing some battle damage. Definitely battle damage up his like shoulder pad insignia. They could do with it. Otherwise they look too bright, too fresh, too new. Just get a little bit on there. That screen's a bit funky. I'm not sure what you were going with. Sorry. Hard to make out what that is, I'm afraid, mate. I can tell you've done some work with it and you've tried to create a display rather than it just be like a single colour. But I'm not sure what it is that we're looking at, I'm afraid. But the Marine is great. Absolutely great. You should be very happy with it. And it says your edge height needs work, but like I said, we had to zoom right in to see it was looking not brilliant. From just looking at the Mini from like here, yeah, you'd be good. Great work, mate. I'd love to see more of your work in the whip at a later date. We get to Ichu. This is when I made the molds. So Ichu's making molds for some stuffs. Purity seals, by the looks of it. Templar crosses. This looks a lot like some of the things that Games Workshop have done, because I recognise that sword and I recognise that winged thing. Push molds. I'd rather that than 3D printed. At least you've taken time and effort to make it. Done a 4 soul store. Oh, okay. Fair. So Macy has been doing some painting. He's got Bobby G going on. He's painting that blue in now. This is, for me, this is always the way. Like, do I paint the blue or do I paint the gold as my initial base coat? Macy went the gold route. I've always done it the blue route because of the way I wanted to highlight my blue, but I've always wondered if this was the easier way. See lots going on here, Mace. What happened to the Death Guard that are unfinished? Because those are the last things I saw you painting. Mate, none of it's the easy. Well, it's all the easy way. Like, all of it is the easy way. It's just which way is the quick way. That's all. None of it's hard. But yeah, the Death Guard, I saw you painting those, and they're sort of scattered behind it. Then you got the Necron stuff that you were absolutely getting a mad on. Not that long ago. When are we going to get a finished unit out of you? Because now we got Ultramarines going on. You're the little butterfly of painting, mate. Oh, that was tonight's stream. Nice, dude. I didn't know if you were streaming tonight. Sons of Rolo. Here we go. Got some finished tonight and some more work on the Librarian, but I'm struggling with a camo cloak. How can I improve it? Okay, cool. On the Librarian. For us. For the All-Father. These are good, mate. These are good. Need to get some decals or something going on those shoulder pads. I see you've got like some white and black on one of them. Maybe look at some of the freehand like designs for the Great Companies or Wolf Companies or whatever they're called. The kennel that they belong to, whatever. And also, if you do, bear in mind that their gloves are amazing canvases for stuff like that as well. So you've got that really big flat area between the top and the ammo feet. Great Company, there we go. I think kennel better. Yeah. These ones are kennel number 7, clearly. One with the skull, that was a previous Best in Show award. Crofts. 42-12. Peckish! How you doing, man? We put Space Wolves on stream, you turn up. Fate. Had to be. Nice. These look cool. Apart from the one with the He-Man haircut. What the fuck is that? What? My god. That's a sculpt. That's right out of the 80s. By the power of Grayskull, I have a bolt pistol. This is mental. That's some blonde. That is some blonde. But good job on the Marines, mate. I love that little screen you've got going on there on his little Game Boy. Both of them. Very cool work. Right, let's have a look at his camo cloak. Can I give you some tips? Okay. So you've got to the point in the mini where you're stuck because you have created something that's very realistic and it would be this way. So if you went to an army surplus store, bought yourself a big like sheet of material for Arctic camo, bam. That's what you've got. And that's great until the rest of it isn't necessarily the same style. So you've got what looks like a very realistic pattern on something. It's very soft, helps break up some of those edges, the same way that camouflage would actually do. On a Space Marine that is none of those things. Alright? So it's not working out the comp. Okay, cool. So my suggestion is you have to make your camo look a little bit more cartoon-esque to match some of your painting. Because some of what you've done with your painting for the rest of the units in your army isn't hyper-realistic. Yeah? Whereas your camo cloak actually is. Everything's nice and soft. Yeah, I know you've got sharp edges on the design on the cloak, but there's no edge highlights for stuff, there's no super dark shadows and so on, whereas on some of your minis there are. So you either need to make your cloak look more like the rest of the minis, or the rest of the minis look like the cloak, and one way, first way, is the easier way. You could glaze in some shadows into some of those creases, darken those down a little bit. You could take a little bit of an edge highlight and just hit some of, not all of, but some of the edges on the shapes that you've done for your freehand. And that would bring that back a little bit closer to the mini. And that's the way I would do it. However, that being said, very sorry guys, like I said, it's been a bit of a day. Haven't had lunch. Had lunch, haven't had a lunch break, just ate and carried on working through. That being said, I love the camo effect. I love what you've done. It's brilliant. Very rarely do these look like they're meant to actually look. And you've done a great job of it, so well done. Right, Jaeger. Taking me an absolute age to get all the mold lines scraped, trying to make sure all the joints are filled too. Now kind of hiding all the joints in the carapace to try on now. There's some horrendous choices made when they split this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So here we go, we got some Steelers and we've got their daddy. I like how diligent you've been with your spoons. Very good. Very good. Let's look at all the gaps in this guy. Are there any? There's normally like a buck teeth thing going on. No, looks pretty good. Oh yeah. Yeah. That carapace is an absolute motherfucker. But you've done it, mate. The Hive Tyrant one is just as bad, by the way, when you get to that. Warning you now. Equally terrible. Nice, mate. Very smooth. Too many sprues. How much we got left? Okay, not so much. Too many sprues is doing Oh, this is the rules for the not rules, the guide for your tank. Oh, fuck that noise. Fuck that noise in its ear. Oh, it looks like Super 8. Progress so far, I'm not looking forward to those tracks. Yeah, I'll bet. I have no idea what I'm looking at, other than it's a tank part. And I only know that because I know what it is. This looks... assembly is my least favourite part of the hobby. By far. And this looks like the world's worst thing to build. So, good luck, mate. Greg, tonight's whip, but got lots left to do. I've seen this guy on your Instagram, I think. I like him, dude. I think you've done quite well. Oh, fucking hell. Sorry, guys. So you've got halfway through your black highlights and given up. And also you need to continue those for the backpack. But you also need to get a highlight in on those shin guards. And it's just not fun. So take your time, thin your paint. You could actually do with thinning your highlight paint a little bit more than you are. Notice around his foot, you're getting that kind of broken line rather than this nice smooth line that you want. It's mostly down to your paint consistency, mate. Jager, sorry, man. It's been a long, long day. So yeah, get those highlights going, thin that paint a little bit more, mate. Keep going. The Drunk Mystic with... I'm not sure what I'm looking at. Is this one of the new Sigma bone people? It must be, right? Repainted a lot of lines with black a few times, so I wasn't happy with it. Yeah. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, man. Just subtract it away and start again. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but the scroll works really cool. The colour palette's nice. You've got that rich red contrast against everything else. I'd maybe like to see a little bit more of that to help sort of solidify the overall mini, but let's see what else we've got. Okay. This is kind of a weird thing in general. A Mohawkminiatures from Boat Reapers. I don't play Sigma, I'm afraid, mate, so I have no real knowledge of what that is, but at least I guessed the right army. Yeah, I'd like to see more of the red, I think. Everything's super, super cold. Yeah, so you've got greys, blues, pale greens, bone, which is normally warm, but I think the amount of grey you've got there is bringing it more towards the colder side of the spectrum. And you've got this super powerful red that gives it a real punch, which I love. I'd probably just find a few more areas to put that on to the other end of the model. So you could maybe do a little bit of red on whatever that like banner that it's holding up is. Find a way of just fitting a little bit in there, perhaps. Shoulder pads might not be a bad idea. And the other option, which is of course the sort of more logical one, but potentially goes against your theme quite a lot, is to do the flames red. They don't need to be like red to yellow, like normal everyday actual fire flames. They could still be some sort of mystical red flame or something. Band's Lost Arms, peace out, man, you take it easy. But that's what I would do, is I would try and find an extra bit of red that you can just sort of tease in there a little bit give the whole model a little bit more life. But it's really cool. You could do red candle wax, yeah. I actually genuinely like that kind of bluey black that you've got there, though. I think that with the red flames would look sick AF. But nice work, dude. Trying to work out if it was marble or crackle paint that you've gone on the base, and I think that's crackle paint, but I'm not entirely sure. Overall though, mate, good job. Like I said, find somewhere else to put that red, but otherwise it's great. And if the entire rest of your army looks just like this, with red on just the lower half, then I'm sure en masse it looks amazing. I'd be happy enough with this if I were you. Right, that is it. We are all whipped out. So tonight we finished off our Helverin. My little Helverin family is now complete. We've done a lot of work with Verdigris. We did some highlights on metals that we rusted and oxidized and so on. Then we did a load of work with tufts, so you kind of get the most out of some tufts. We did some work with weathering powders, and then we applied these birch seeds, our leaf scatter, to the base as well, and sealed that in. That Helverin is now complete and ready to rock. Now Sunday, I will be in a tournament until potentially too late to be able to stream. So hopefully that's not the case, but it may be the case. So if there's no stream on Sunday, you've had plenty of warning. I'll let you guys know probably Saturday, or an update on Discord or Instagram on Sunday itself. So !social, follow me there, you'll get updates. Of course, next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend we've got a Necronathon. But next week on stream, we're probably going to be painting more of our aeronautica planes. So we've got a load of these to do. We'll save the glass in a canopy on a couple of these for a stream, because that's kind of an interesting thing to do. It's nice to have like fun lessons. If there's anything else you want to see done on these, we've got some freehand circles to do, so that could be fun as well. We've got another couple of lessons of that. Anyway, let's go find someone to raid. Somebody did suggest one earlier on. It was a sculptor, and I've completely forgotten who it was, but it was a bit early for the... Can I find it? After that... Oh, here we go. Let's try and find this person then. Because they guide the raid redeemed. They are live. And it's a dog. Okay. Fuck it. Why not? I'm not sure what's happening, but let's go see. So thank you very much to everyone who tuned in tonight. We're going to roll the credits. At the end of the credits, we're going to go and raid C Not Bush, who's doing something that looks cool, I guess, if nothing else. Peace out, everyone. Might see you Sunday. Definitely see you Monday or Tuesday next week. Have a good one.